Hello everyone! Have you ever imagined what life was like before humans learned to control fire? No warm homes, no cooked meals, no light after sunset. Every night brought cold, darkness, and danger. But fire changed everything. It transformed our bodies, brought people together, and helped create civilization. So today, let's discover how fire changed human history. Before fire, human life followed one simple rule: move with the sun. Daylight meant freedom. Darkness meant danger. When the sun disappeared, the useful part of the day was over. There were no lamps, no torches, no glowing campfires waiting outside the shelter. Our ancestors could barely see what was hiding a few steps away. The predators could. Big cats moved quietly through the darkness. Hyenas could hear and smell humans long before humans noticed them. At night, people were no longer the hunters. They could easily become the hunted, so they searched for protected places: a tree, a cave, a narrow space between rocks. Then they stayed close together and waited for morning. Cold was another enemy. Without fire, there was no easy way to warm the body, dry wet clothing, or survive a freezing night. This made colder regions extremely difficult to enter, but nature occasionally offered something extraordinary. Lightning struck a tree. A forest began to burn. Flames appeared after a volcanic eruption. Early humans probably watched these fires from a distance at first. Fire was bright. It was hot. It was terrifying. But it also frightened predators and created warmth. Eventually, someone moved closer. Someone picked up a burning branch. Perhaps the group carried it back to their shelter and tried to keep it alive. They could use the flame, but they could not replace it. If the rain came, it disappeared. If the last ember died, it was gone. Humans had discovered the power of fire. They just had not learned how to control it. And until that happened, every sunset returned the world to the predators. Finding fire was only the beginning. Keeping it alive was the real challenge. Some evidence suggests that ancient humans controlled fire hundreds of thousands of years ago, possibly even earlier. But they probably could not create it whenever they wanted. They had to protect every flame. Someone added dry wood. Someone watched the embers. Someone kept the fire safe from rain and wind. This continued during the day. It continued at night. The flame could never be ignored for long. One mistake could leave the entire group in darkness, and losing fire was a disaster. There would be no heat, no light, no protection from predators. Food could no longer be cooked. The group might have to find another wildfire, or wait for lightning to strike. That could take days or even weeks. So humans learned to transport fire. They carried hot embers during long journeys. Dry bark or slow-burning plants may have helped keep them alive. One campfire could then create another. Much later, humans discovered something even more important. Certain stones produced sparks when struck together. Dry wood created heat when rubbed quickly. A new flame could now be made by hand. Fire no longer depended completely on nature. If rain destroyed it, people could start again. They no longer needed to carry the flame everywhere. They only needed to carry the knowledge. Nature had always created fire. Now humans could create it too. And from that moment, everything began to change. Fire changed the way humans ate. Meat became softer. Plants became easier to chew. Cooking also killed many dangerous bacteria and parasites, making food safer than before. But the biggest change happened inside the body. Cooked food was easier to digest, so humans could gain more energy while spending less effort chewing and processing every meal. Over many generations, this may have contributed to smaller teeth, weaker jaws, and a shorter digestive system. Some scientists also believe that the extra energy provided by cooked food helped support the development of the human brain, although this idea is still debated. Fire also expanded the menu. Tough roots, hard plants, and foods that were difficult or unsafe to eat raw became useful sources of nutrition. Cooking did not simply make meals taste better. It may have helped transform the human body itself. Fire changed the meaning of night. A bright campfire frightened away many predators and created a safer area where humans could rest. People no longer had to become completely inactive after sunset. They could stay awake. They could repair tools, prepare food, and care for children while the flames provided light. Fire also gave them warmth. This became especially important as humans moved into colder regions, where surviving freezing nights without a reliable source of heat would have been extremely difficult. Camps could now be built in places that were once too cold or dangerous. The useful part of the day became longer. Sunset no longer ended every activity. For the first time, humans had several extra hours to work, communicate, and plan. Fire did not remove every danger from the darkness, but it created a small circle of light where people could finally feel safer. fire brought people together. At night, the entire group could gather around the same campfire. It was warm. It was bright. And it created time for something beyond simple survival. People shared stories. They discussed past hunts, dangerous animals, and places where food or water could be found. Older members passed their knowledge to the young. Children learned what to fear, where to travel, and how to survive. But not every story was practical. People also told jokes, remembered those who had died, and created myths to explain the mysterious world around them. These evenings helped form traditions and made social connections stronger. The campfire became more than a source of heat and protection. It was an early classroom. It was a theater. It was a meeting place. Long before books, schools, or television existed, humans used stories around the fire to preserve knowledge and build culture. Fire eventually became more than a tool for survival. Humans learned to control higher temperatures. They used heat to harden clay and create pottery, which made it easier to store food, water, and other supplies. Later, people discovered how to extract and shape metals. Copper came first, then bronze. Finally, iron allowed them to make stronger tools, weapons, and farming equipment. Fire became essential for crafts, construction, and trade. It powered furnaces. It shaped glass. It helped build larger settlements and more advanced societies. Thousands of years later, burning fuel produced steam and powered factories, trains, and ships during the Industrial Revolution. Engines transformed transport. Power stations helped produce electricity. The technology became more complex, but the basic idea remained the same: release, heat, and use its energy. The first campfires protected small groups of humans. Their distant descendants helped build entire civilizations.